And welcome. Always got to unmute yourself, make sure you know what you're doing. Listen, welcome back to the School of Good Citizenship. Good Citizenship. I once was lost, but now am found. Day two. So if you were with us last night, then you saw the amazing community choir led and conducted and choreographed. And I want to say choreographed. He didn't choreograph. He put it together. Like there was this virtual choir that David Tang put together. Amazing song called "I Believe" by the John P. Key Community Choir. And then we had Deem Malik drop some poetry on us, some amazing words. So we are going to stick with that. Tonight's theme is inclusion or acceptance, however you're looking at it. And tonight we have Mr. Herrison Chicas, who's an amazing writer and an amazing poet. And we have Eric Banks, who's going to put something together from the Ensemble Diaspora. To Be a Stranger is the name of the piece. We'll talk more about it as we get into it. But tonight is about just building community and gathering folks together under the umbrella of love and acceptance and just good citizenship, right? Because that's why we're here. My name is Bluz. Almost forgot to tell you that. So glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you've logged on and you're on your phone, you're on your laptop or your iPad or whatever, what have you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We really appreciate that. Stick around because after this, we're having our doodle talk. You're like, what's a doodle talk? It's going to be a community engagement conversation. It's not just going to be us on Zoom, right? Talking. We're actually going to engage in conversation. And you're going to get to draw on your device. What? It's going to be amazing. And I cannot wait for y'all to get in there. It's going to be so great. You're going to learn a lot. But I say all that to say, I have some amazing people that I want you to meet because they're going to tell you a little bit more about the School of Good Citizenship. They are my friends, Marshall and Nora, also known as Lagana Reese. So Marshall, Nora, y'all got it. Let's go.
Hello. Hello. Thanks, Bluz, for that great introduction. And I am Nora Ligarano.
I'm Marshall Reese.
And we are the co-founders of the School of Good Citizenship. So why did we create the School of Good Citizenship?
Well, we wanted to create a space where communities can have their own voice. And we were working in Charlotte for the last year to pull something like this together.
And so the School of Good Citizenship really consists of a number of different events and different programs. We already started the school in June with the Light Factory event, workshop, which is a photo workshop, and it culminates in October in a gallery show. And then, the 20th of August, we opened a really great show also with at the Levine Museum of the New South, 17 artists from North Carolina. It is a juried show, and it's up now, and it's a virtual show, and it's also hopefully going to be opening as a brick and mortar show.
And so I once was lost, but now I'm found. It's the third event of the School of Good Citizenship. And we're using this to bring poetry and music, to bring the voices of North Carolina together. So,
and finally, just a little word of thanks to our amazing partners who are institutions throughout Charlotte, North Carolina, our great board of advisors, and most of all for the team that we're working with, all of you in Charlotte and New York and everywhere else in the world. Thank you so much.
And now let's hear from Herrison Chicas.
Hello, everybody. My name is Herrison Chicas, and I am a spoken word artist. And today I'll be performing I Am the Hyphen. I am the hyphen. I am the bridge between two worlds. I am the messenger of culture, the mediator of wars. I am football, and I am football. I am hip hop, and I am cumbia. I am cheeseburgers, and I am pupusas. I am a firm shape am a kiss on the cheek. I am Spanish and I am English. I am Spanglish. I am a fusion, a hybrid of friends and enemies. I am a falling custom and a new trend. I am family oriented and self driven. I am far away from home and I am home. I am the accent in Jorge Ramos and the stereotype in Sofia Vergara. I am the translator of foreign neighbors who make themselves out to be more different than they actually are. I'm a rebel and I am a refugee. I am in no man's land where both countries disown me. I am a rebel and I am a refugee. I am in no man's land where both countries disown me. I am the fear of immigrants crossing into the land of the fear of the free, and I am the fear of losing that freedom in deportees. I am the product of problems and solutions, and I am the cause of problems and solutions. I am corruption, but I am affection. I am a head-on collisions of love and hate, a crash course of misunderstandings. I am the hyphen. I am the son of slaves and slave masters. I am an identity crisis, and I'm constantly redefining if my existence is worth my parents' sacrifice. I am a debt, but I am a dream. I am broken shackles on a broken glass ceiling. I am a lone warrior with an army of my ancestors running through my bloodstream. I dare you to go against me because I am resistance and I am resilience. I am the extra mile in every other distance. I am Broadway and broadcast and ballet and newscast. I am a doctor, an Olympian, a winner, a champion. I am the past. I am the present. And more importantly, I am the future. Adopt me, assimilate me, or assassinate me. But whether you want to accept it or not, America, I am you. I am the new you. I am neither Salvadorian nor American. I am both. I am the hyphen in between Salvadorian, American.
This is me, because that was amazing. Oh, I love Chicas. I've known Chicas since he was a young man, and I'm an older man. But he was a very young guy when I first met him, just starting out, and he's blossomed and grown into this amazing human being. Chicas is a renowned spoken word artist whose work centers around the Latinx identity. Chicas' poetry has been featured on major platforms such as BET, Public Radio International, Univision, and various TED Talks. He's been invited to perform across the country in institutions such as the Smithsonian, Anacostia Museum, Dartmouth College, Duke University, and other places. So he's everywhere, and currently he's working. Chicas is a PhD student at UNC's Keenan Flagler Business School, studying the Latinx experience in the workplace and the broader society. That is a mouthful, but he is a writer, right? He is writing the experience of a citizen in this country as a Latinx citizen, as a hyphened citizen, right? So amazing, the perspectives that we're getting from this amazing event. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I just want to really quick shout out, like Nora and Marshall said earlier that this was a collection of people. So we have to shout out Community Building Initiative, Johnson C. Smith University, International House, Latin American Coalition, League of Women Voters, Levine Museum of the New South, the Light Factory, and my alma mater, University of North Carolina, Charlotte. So shout out to those groups for helping make this pop, as you would, making this thing really, really go big. I want to say viral by the end of it. You know what I'm saying? So we had poetry, just like last night. We had poetry, and poetry's always it's been around forever, right? And ever since we could put words together and create emotion and create a message and move that. So along with poetry, we've coupled things with sound, right? Amazing voices doing amazing things. And next we have Eric Banks, and Eric Banks has written this piece called "To Be a Stranger." The text is by Dorothy West, James Baldwin, John Lewis, and of course Frederick Douglass. So the text you might recognize, and this piece of music is David Tang was bragging on this, so I'm excited to hear it. I can't wait for you to hear it as well. So here we go. We're gonna have Eric Banks giving us to be a stranger. And so while we're waiting on that to come up, remember at the end of this, we're going to
Eduardo Munoz,
Henry Wayne Rivera,
Sterling Higgins,
Javier Ambler,
Pamela Turner,
Dominique Clayton,
Ryan Twyman,
Leilene Polanco,
Lee Xi Wang,
Joseph Richardson,
Elijah McLean,
Melvin Watkins,
Tatiana Jefferson,
Christopher Whitfield,
Michael Lorenzo Dean,
Plondo Anatok,
William Howard Green,
Ahmad Arbery,
Manuel Ellis,
Barry Geddes,
Rihanna Taylor,
Donnie Sanders,
Michael Ramos,
Drejon Reed,
Maurice Gordon,
George Floyd,
Tony McDade,
David McAtee,
Sean Monterosa,
Jamel Floyd,
Carlos Carson,
Andres Guardado Pineda.
Identity is not in head. It is not Christ the
There is no life that does not contribute so to his story.
Confrontation wise,
Choose confrontation wise, but when it is your time, it is your time. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
It's not in a test to stand Any real change implies a breakup of the world, as one has always known it. Any real change has always been one of those real change. Any real change implies the breakup of the world. Change implies the breakup of the world, as one has always known it.
It is not the life that we need. But thunder, we need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. there is no struggle, if there is no struggle, then there is no progress. If there is no struggle, then there is no struggle. Who profess to their freedoms and yet depreciate agitations are like members of strong, members of strong. If there is no struggle, without God, there is no struggle.
Once again, I'm so caught up. I forgot to unmute myself. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Y'all, gentlemen, okay, we'll start with you, Eric. Eric is a composer, conductor, and translator. Eric Banks has garnered international acclaim for his creative influence and an unwavering commitment to new choral music. A groundbreaking composer, Eric has harnessed his passion for foreign languages, poetry, social justice, and natural science to create works that reach far beyond the scope of established a cappella canon. His works have been commissioned and performed in 30 countries worldwide. Jeez, brother, you are busy. So with that, the first thing I was thinking, like, you know all these foreign languages, and when you're writing these things, does anything get lost in translation? Do you have to really sit back and be very intentional with your words?
Yeah, I think that often things do get lost in translation. In fact, they might even get lost in transmission. When I was watching this, you may know I'm in Sao Paulo. I'm in Brazil right now. I've been here for the entire pandemic. And when I was watching the video just now, all of the singers' mouths were moving a second ahead of the sounds that were coming out. Like it was completely out of sync with itself. So I'm hoping that there's not a big lag between us.
Listen, but, I don't know if anybody really caught it. We were all just mesmerized by the amazingness of it. So.
I'm glad. But yeah, of course, things get lost in translation. I think that even happens in America in English, which is plain English, and different regions of the country. So I think there's always, someone once said to me that communication isn't successful unless you've actually reached the other person. You can talk all you want, but unless you grab them and reach them from the inside, your communication isn't successful. So I use that, I have that in my head all the time when I'm writing. I hope that the piece is effective. Obviously, it's very topical. What happened to Jacob Blake yesterday is fresh on my mind. He could have been added to this list of fatalities. So, I mean, this is something, this is a social change that we need to do something about. The people that took part in this project, I mean, there's a huge part of my career has been giving voice to people who don't have one, and or have a very small one. And when I was asked to write this piece and put together a choir of basically of people that are what I call the new majority, right? The people that are LGBTQIA, people that are people of color, people of mixed heritage, basically not white, not straight, not male, right? It's the new majority. And I needed to put together a choir of those people in order to create this piece and give voice to 4 Black writers. So I was really happy to be able to do it. It's a huge honor to write this piece. So.
It was amazing. There's a lot of balance work that was happening inside that. So I was truly amazed again at the technology of it. David Tang spoke last night about being able to bring all of these singers together and create something when nobody is in the same room. What were like maybe one of the challenges with that?
Oh, honey, there's so many challenges. First of all, I'm in Brazil. I'm really far away.
Challenge number 1.
But I wrote the piece in like a week. And then because I got the commission at the beginning of July, and what are we, 25 August? So, this entire thing happened in 6 weeks. I wrote the piece. I had to learn the software to edit the audio, and then I had to learn the software to edit the video. So this is all like the maiden voyage. Like this is the very first thing I've done with this stuff. And it's the, professional movie making software. It's Adobe Premiere Pro. So it's not, something you can buy for freeware online. Like it was something that I was very intimidated by when I sat down in front of my trusty computer and it told me, we don't have enough running memory to do this program. So there are many challenges.
Another challenge. Oh,
like buying a new computer in Brazil. That's fun. No, there are many challenges, but I have to say it's totally worth it. And Dave has been a huge help along the way, Dave Tang. So I'm just so glad it turned out. I'm so glad.
It was
Yeah.
simply amazing. Chicas, my man. Like I was telling them, I was like, I've known this kid since you were basically a kid. Like I've known you for a long time. And this is my chance to sort of give you your flowers. I've been paying attention and watching what you've been up to, and I'm just amazed. I'm amazed and proud. Not only that you continued your writing, but managed to go on and get a PhD while dealing with some personal stuff, taking care of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, no young man should have to worry about that. Should be wild and free and just living your life. But you've been very responsible from a young age. Can you talk a little bit about the balance of gaining a PhD and still trying to maintain a writing career, a successful writing career at that?
Yeah. First and foremost, Bluz, thank you, man. That means a lot to me. As you mentioned, I showed up at one of those poetry events that you put on, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna try this thing and see if it works. But I was always inspired by your way of like delivering words and grabbing people, as Eric mentioned. And so for me, it was this platform is a way for me to share my story, particularly a story that isn't heard as often, and in hopes that people empathize with my life story, which is one that is shared with many brown people in this country. And so to answer your question, I don't think there's much of a difference between like getting a PhD and art, even though on paper it may seem like that way. I think it's still an artistic endeavor of like getting to the truth, just through two different branches of getting to the truth. So when I write or when I do research, it really is just discovering more of myself, my journey, in hopes that I'm able to generalize those discoveries, that art form or that data, to share with the world and say, hey, we exist. Hey, we are here, and we've been here, and I hope that you can see us. So I think for me, it's like I find inspiration in both, in whether I'm reading a book or writing a poem. For me, it's one and the same. So I try to be synergistic in my endeavors of researching and writing.
That's a real PhD answer there, sir. I love it. Listen,
you're supposed to take twice as many words to say anything at a doctoral level.
Exactly. So we're almost out of time. Can you gentlemen let the people know where we can find you?
ericbanks.com. My ensemble in Seattle is called The Esoterics.
And I'm at Herrison Chicas on Twitter, Instagram, and all the social media. So appreciate you, Bluz. Appreciate you, Eric.
Thank you so much, guys. Both of you.
Thank you. Y'all, the amazing Eric Banks and Herrison Chicas. Make sure that you keep up with them. If you missed where you can find them at, just Google the hell out of them and you'll find them. They should not be hard to find because they're doing amazing work. So with that being said, this is only day 2, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to have a day 3 and we're going to have a day 4. But each of these days are all going to culminate with a doodle talk. So it's going to be super fun to be able to engage with some of the folks who are in the building, and maybe some of the artists might stick around and you get to sort of schmooze with the artist in the doodle talk. So it's a chance to engage. It's a chance to have conversation about some of the issues that are going on in our country. So it'll be super fun just to kind of be there and not just sitting and you're actually going to get to draw and talk and have conversations and figure out where people are from. It's going to be simply amazing. So I feel like we have sort of an example that we can give you. I'd love to see that. We have some amazing tech folks who are working behind the scenes right here at I Once Was Lost, but Now I'm Found. When I say they are amazing, they are super dope. So the doodle talk was so great last night. We really got some really good information. But before all that, we have Democracy in C going to give you some information about voting. Are you ready for that? Because I am. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Adrienne with Democracy North Carolina. We've been working hard to make voting by mail, otherwise known as absentee voting, easier this year. Because of the pandemic, we know there are lots of folks who shouldn't risk going to vote in person. So the best way to vote would be from home, which is voting by mail. It's a multi-step process. First, you have to request your ballot by email, fax, or mail. Then receive your ballot in the mail. Once you do, you'll fill it out and either mail it back or drop it off at an early voting location. So head on over to ncvoter.org. That's ncvoter.org to read the full directions and decide if voting by mail is right for you. And if so, how to do it. We would never want the pandemic to get in the way of you using your freedom to vote. So if you decide to vote by mail, request your ballot as soon as possible.
There you go. All the information you need to make sure that you are doing your part as a good citizen and exercising your right to vote. No matter which way you're going with it, exercise your right to vote. That's what being a good citizen, a part of what being a good citizen is, right? So I hope you all have got that. If you need more from Democracy NC, you can go ahead and check them out. Again, thank you, Eric Banks. Thank you, Herrison Chicas, for your amazing work this evening. And we're getting ready for our doodle talk. And you're like, what's a doodle talk? Like, what is that? It's the space where we go to, it's a safe space, where we get to go and have some fun, and as well as, I gotta make sure I'm on the right side, as well as do some really cool stuff like this, like this. So it's gonna be amazing stuff that you get to see and work with and write with, right? So that's the stuff that you wanna use. It'll be fun, doodle talk. So what happens is we're gonna come out of here, and then we're gonna go into another Zoom. We're gonna go into another Zoom where I'll see you all over there for our doodle talk, and we'll break out into breakout rooms and have a really great time. So thank you so much for being here. Now I'm gonna see you over there for the doodle talk, all right? All right, guys, my name is Bluz. I'll see you soon.